Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Oh, good. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. We are going to talk about filler today. So let me get into, Heather, how do I get the slides? Let me get into this real quick. And you can see pictures of these beautiful babies behind me. This is Emily's family right there. So if you saw those little beautiful babies, those are her kids. Okay, so why should you add filler to your beauty plan? We are kind of getting back to the basics today and talking about filler because it's such an integral part of the anti-aging regimen. So, over time, we age, and we age in several ways. We lose volume, we lose bone in our face, we lose fat in our face, we lose collagen and elastin. And there are several ways of working against this process. And we have many options. And sometimes it's really overwhelming as a patient when you come in and there's all these options and you're not even sure where to start, where to begin, what you want to do. So this is how we can help you, because we have multiple different ways to help you, and we can use these modalities to be extremely effective in the anti-aging process. So we are here to guide you. We have lots of treatment for body, which we will not test today, and then lots of treatment for face. And so we'll discuss these, all of these this year in our webinars, but today we're going to talk about fillers as part of your anti-aging regimen for your face. So we're restoring volume with fillers. You can also do that. I'm going to go back to that slide. You can also do that with biostimulators such as Sculptra and Radiesse. But we're not going to talk about those two things today. We're going to talk about fillers. So what are fillers? Fillers are a gel-like substance. Most fillers are made of hyaluronic acid. So that's what we're going to focus on today. And you may have heard the names Juvederm or Restylane or even RHA, Voluma. All of these brands are competing hyaluronic acid fillers. And fillers can be used to fill out lines and wrinkles. They can volumize cheeks. They can fill in hollows. They can naturally define and reshape your face. So where can they be used? They can be used right under the eyes to help with dark circles and hollowing. They can be used in the nose to disguise bumps in the nose. They can be used in the cheeks to lift the cheeks and define the cheeks naturally. They can be used in what we call the marionette lines around the mouth. They can be used nasolabial folds. So those are those parentheses lines near the nose. Of course, in the lips, chin and jawline, even the backs of the hands and the neck. So a lot of people come in for lip lines. I can definitely soften lip lines and do so in a very natural fashion. I can lift and decrease the jowls. I can reinforce the cheekbones and the jawline and therefore lift and redefine those areas. And of course, like mentioned, we fill in the lines and creases that didn't used to be there. And we're doing this to restore age-related volume loss. So again, this is something that is completely natural looking, and you should not look done when we are done with this. You should just look really, really great for your age, and that's what we're going for. So how are they working? They're smoothing out the lines, they're smoothing out the wrinkles. We're plumping up the area that have lost volume. Hyaluronic acid also attracts and holds on to water. So that can even have a hydrating effect on the skin and make the skin look healthier in that sense. And actually, the term glow up might have come from the fact that the skin sometimes looks like it has a natural highlighter on it. The way that the light reflects on the skin after the filler is done is really beautiful and natural. And the effect that sometimes we try to achieve with makeup, and we can actually get this naturally with the effects of filler. So as mentioned, filler is mostly made up of hyaluronic acid. That's something that's found naturally in our own skin. It can also be dissolved with an enzyme called hyaluronidase. And this is a really great safety feature because we'll talk in a second about complications, but if a serious complication happened, we could counteract that with this enzyme that dissolves it. Or worst case scenario, if someone didn't like the results of filler, which very rarely happens, but if someone didn't like the results, we could also dissolve it with this enzyme. Additionally, fillers last a long time. So as you know, Botox lasts 3 to 4 months, and fillers last typically a year. So that can range from 6 to 18 months, but typically we can get a year duration out of fillers. And that varies from person to person, but generally speaking, that's the average. So, how long does this take? Is it like a really involved process? And the answer is no. In fact, it's very quick. Treatments last 15 to 60 minutes, depending on how much we're doing. In our clinic, we use ice and we use numbing cream to make this treatment as comfortable as possible. And in fact, many patients walk out saying that was so much more comfortable than what they were expecting, and it was way easier than what they were expecting. In terms of restrictions afterwards, I recommend no makeup in the treated area for 48 hours and no exercise for 48 hours beyond normal walking, just to prevent bruising. And then the makeup part, that is to prevent any contamination of the small little needle nicks that we make during the treatment. Additionally, we do not recommend dental work right after treatment. I usually recommend to wait 2 weeks until someone has a dental cleaning or 2 months before dental drilling. So those are the restrictions afterwards. Really pretty simple. Side effects. Expected side effects could be bruising and swelling. Bruising can be prevented by avoiding things that like blood thinners before the procedure, aspirin, Advil, Aleve, etc. Additionally, someone could use arnica, which is a homeopathic medication, arnica tablets, arnica gel, and also there's a supplement called bromelain. It's the enzyme that's found in pineapple. It's an anti-inflammatory. Arnica combined with bromelain is often thought to be useful for bruising prevention. We also in our clinic have a laser. We have a laser that will take the bruising away faster if someone does get bruising with fillers. So this can dramatically reduce the downtime that you could experience with filler. And in all honesty, we actually don't get a ton of bruising with filler. We tend to use what's called a cannula, which really, really diminishes bruising. So instead of a needle, in a lot of areas, we use a cannula, which has a blunt end and does not bruise as often. There are potentially serious side effects. These are higher risk in higher risk areas, and those are something that we discuss with you in these high risk areas. But just a little reminder to choose your injector wisely. You want an injector that knows where these high risk areas are, knows how to best prevent serious side effects, and knows how to handle serious side effects should they come up. And in addition, please share your medical history with your injector. That will ensure that you have the safest experience possible. Who is not a candidate for filler? So if someone is pregnant, we don't do filler in them. If someone is nursing, we don't do filler in them. If you have low platelets, usually not, depends how low they are. If you're immunocompromised, we have a discussion about that. Again, share your medical history with your injector, and we can guide you. So that's one of the reasons to come to a medical practice, is that, of course, we are aware of most things medical, and we can help you have the safest experience possible. Also, if you do have an autoimmune condition, that doesn't exclude you from filler, but you want to discuss it with us, because that does influence the products that we choose for you. So in the middle of this photograph, you see 1 ml or 1 cc of filler. That's about as much as what's in a syringe of filler. So sometimes patients come in and they're terrified that they're going to look unnatural after filler, but really, if you start low and slow, that's really not enough product to make you look unnatural. But at the same time, it's enough product to provide structure to get noticeable results. So I really like this illustration to just give you a little example of what's possible with a small amount of product, and to reassure you that filler won't give you unnatural results if it's in the right hands. So there are so many different brands of fillers out there, and it's an advantage to me as an injecting doctor, and it's also an advantage to you as a patient. There are just different tools in the toolbox that we can use. A lot of the fillers have subtle differences, but we do utilize them to the best of their so-called abilities. So it's the strength that we have different brands to choose from, and we will choose the right one for you. We have pretty much almost all of them available to you. Some examples of where we can use this filler, but I'm going to go to some before and after so you can really get a great idea. So this is a patient who's had a little bit of filler in multiple different areas. So let's start from the top. You can see in the frown lines, she has actually had some Botox in the frown lines. So on your left, you see those frown lines between the eyebrows. They're softer on the right. Going down to her cheeks, you see that her cheeks have been filled in and lifted. So she had some really great results, and she had filler in her cheeks, but they don't look unnatural. They look like they've lifted back to where they used to be. And you can see that in her nasolabial fold, the parentheses lines around her nose and mouth, you can see that those lines are a lot softer, as well as her smile lines. You see the smile lines on the corners of her mouth. You can see they're softer in the photo on the right. And look where she was starting to jowl. This is someone who is middle age to younger age, and she was starting to get jowls. You can see by lifting her cheeks, we have lifted up the jowls, and her face looks a lot less puffy towards the bottom and a lot less heavy on the bottom. And our attention goes more to the mid face, the cheek area, when you look at her on the right. So this is an example of what a little bit of filler placed strategically throughout the face can do. Here is a young patient, previous staff member. She had some filler in her cheeks and her jawline, and this is actually a patient that Dr. Yonan treated. So you can see, even though on the left she looks beautiful, she looks like she doesn't need anything, on the right you see that Her jawline has been enhanced, her cheeks have been enhanced, and her chin has been enhanced. But yet it all looks very natural. And she was extremely pleased with her results. Her face looks more balanced. You can see that kind of glow up look that she has, that natural highlighting look that the filler can do. She just looks brighter and her skin looks tighter and she looks more youthful, even though on the left, her before photo, you don't really think she needs anything. Yet when you look at her on the right, she looks better. Here's someone that I treated with a variety of modalities, including filler, but this patient had some Botox. He had some filler in his cheeks, and then he had some Sculptra, which we've talked about before. We can talk about again on another date, but the Sculptra helped to fill out the hollowing in his cheeks. This patient is fairly young, and he's extremely athletic, and the sun damage and all the training, I think, was aging him. So he looks so refreshed after some Botox, after some Voluma in his cheeks. And I also enhanced his jawline and then put a little Sculptra between his cheek and his jawline. And you can see how refreshed yet how natural he looks after we did this enhancement. And again, just a little some illustrations of the cheeks and the jawline and how filler doesn't have to look feminine. It can be very masculine as well. All right, here's an example of the tear trough. So this is the area underneath the eyes. People get dark circles. The bags can be emphasized. And you can see after filler, she does not have as many dark circles and you don't really notice the bags underneath her eyes. Here we see this was actually one of our webinar models. I treated her tear troughs, and left is before, right is after. You can see that we are not noticing that area underneath her eye anymore. She looks refreshed. She doesn't look as tired. Looks very natural. And again, previous staff member, she had some dark circles and some hollowing. You can see after the filler, it looks very smooth and she looks rested and rejuvenated in both eyes. Here's a patient who had some jawline filler and had some cheek filler. Here's a patient who had some cheek filler done. Again, cheek filler. Again, on the left, she looks good, but on the right, you can see that she's got that natural highlighting look. Now, not everyone will want cheeks this pronounced in a very youthful patient. This is a beautiful look, but we don't have to do filler that is this dramatic. We can just do a very subtle look as well. So filler is highly individualized, and we always chat with you in our clinic about your goals, what you want to see. Sometimes we look at photos of you from before. Here's a patient with a little Voluma in her cheeks. Here's a patient that we did her cheeks. Here's a patient where we treated around her mouth. We did her lip lines. We did her nasolabial folds. We did her marionettes. Look how pretty and natural that looks afterwards. Doesn't look weird. Doesn't look like it's too much. It just looks smooth and refreshed. Same thing here. We did lip lines. She still has some lip lines afterwards, but you can see how much better her lines look and how much more youthful the area around her mouth looks and how much tighter that area is. Look how on the right side, we're looking mainly at her lips, whereas on the left side, we're looking at the surface irregularities, the lines, the skin textures. We're not really paying attention to the lips. So the skin doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be extremely tight afterwards for us to have a great result. Again, some really beautiful results around the mouth, around the mouth. Look at the jowls here. Look how everything just looks tighter after we've done some filler in these areas, but yet the patient looks completely natural. She doesn't look on the right that she's had anything done. She looks very, very natural. Here's some example of some lips. And again, this is highly individualized. We do not go too big. We can do the treatment in several sessions if patients prefer, so we get a nice natural result. Here's a patient with filler in her chin and her jawline. Again, previous staff member, very natural looking results. Here's a patient where I did filler in her nose to smooth out bumps in her nose. Look at the difference in her profile, mainly her nose, from the left to the right. And here is her photo before and after. See how by doing a little filler in the nose that it can alter the entire face. So sometimes we don't need a lot of filler. We just need strategically placed filler, and it can just refresh and enhance an entire face. Here's some filler in the earlobe, just so you know what's possible. Patients come in, oftentimes they can't wear their beautiful earrings. This helps support the earrings and helps make the earlobe look more youthful. I've had this done myself, and it's a game changer. Okay. Let's get down to the important part. What are you going to win by watching this raffle? You are going to win, one of you lucky viewers is going to win this winter skincare kit. And this is one of my favorite lines, and especially this anti-age lip renewal, and the body lotion is so wonderful in the winter. And then this Enriched Firming Mask has a whole fan club behind it. So whoever wins this is very lucky. It's going to be great for their winter skin. Here's your promo. This is a really, really great promo on filler. So if you're thinking about filler, I highly encourage you to consider this. Buy 2 syringes, get 1 at no additional cost. So you get 3 syringes at the price of 2. This is a chance for your for a complete freshening of your entire face. This is not too much, you guys. If it's too much, we can always bank it if you like. You have to use this within a year, but almost anyone can handle 3 syringes of filler. And again, we can do this over several sessions if you're unsure. So the cost is going to be around $1,500. There's an extra charge for Voluma. If it's Voluma, it's $1,800. So your cost is between $1,500 and $1,800 for this promo. These results will last you at least 1 year. A lot of times longer. Voluma lasts 2 years. That's why there's an upcharge on it. So this could potentially last you 2+ years. Okay, so now for our live demo. Something a little bit different about our live demo. I'm going to show you some before and afters of our beautiful, gorgeous model. So this is Sharon. She is absolutely gorgeous, as you can see. She is one of our billing specialists, and we have done some work. I have done some work on her before. So this on the left is her before. On the right is her after. So I have done some Kybella, which is not filler. It's actually something that dissolves fat. So I did that underneath her chin. I did it a little bit in the jowl areas, and I did it a little bit along her jawline back here. And then we went and we did our new technology, Agnes. So Agnes is radio frequency, which tightens the treated areas. And in Sharon's case, we tightened her lower face. And you can see on the right, she does have a little bit of makeup on, but you can see how her skin absolutely glows after that Agnes treatment, because Agnes will stimulate collagen as well. And then related to the filler webinar, I did filler in her cheeks, and I did filler in her marionette. So those lines around her mouth, I did filler there. Today, we're going to do her tear troughs, and we're going to support her cheeks a little bit more. I'm going to show you a side view of Sharon from the before and afters. So you can see her cheeks are much more defined. The jowl area is much smaller. The area under her chin is much smaller and tighter. And then the marionettes, those lines around the mouth, are much more subtle today. And then here's the other side. Cheeks are more defined. Look again at that natural highlighting look that doing some strategic filler can do. Her jawline is much more defined. Her jowls have diminished in size and have lifted. Everything shifted back. And so her face looks much less heavy in the front, and the marionettes are much softer. So you guys are going to see a transformation today in Sharon. So on that note, I'm going to pause, and we are just going to reposition the camera, and then we'll get started with our live demonstration. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Oh, tear troughs. Yeah, tear troughs. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Hello. Please let us know if you can hear us. Let Marcos know, our wonderful marketer. He says we have a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much. So here's our beautiful Sharon. And today can I have one more little HIPAA cleanser? I am going to enhance her cheek. I'm going to strategically place filler right here. It's going to lift her entire cheek. It's going to help us with the tear troughs. And then I'm going to do this tear trough area as well. And she looks so good. I think with the Agnes in the future, maybe on another webinar, we're going to shrink this area a little bit more and tighten this area. So I think you guys would probably be interested in seeing that. Carson's done a great job cleaning her skin already, but I always just double check it. And we always just clean in our clinic, just to be on the safe side. All right, so she's going to use this light, which helps me visualize any blood vessels and avoid them. So I am just going to do a little injection or a little pimp there. Good job, Sharon. And then, so today I am using this cannula. And sometimes it looks a little scarier than it is. It's got a blunt end, and that makes it extremely safe and also less likely to bruise. So let's see. You got healthy. I thought Agnes made your skin so healthy, Sharon. I think we are. I have to do that again. Here we go. Okay, her skin is super healthy here. So we're gonna go in and give you a little support here, Sharon. A little pinch. You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad, right?
No.
Just a little pressure?
Yeah, a little.
Okay. Great job. You feel okay?
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Carson, if you can just get the Restylane ready with the 25 gauge cannula, that would be great. Okay. Sorry, a little pressure here. This is just going to give your face support. We lose bone in this area. And that's one of the reasons our face kind of goes down over time. Okay, so I used a little under half a syringe there. And then let me see, Sharon, just turn this way. Okay, good. Marcos, if you could Sharon, just sit forward just a little bit. Can you guys see how her cheek, just with that one injection, her cheek is more supported on the right side versus the left side? And you can already see she's got more definition over here than here. And I bet it even looks, you can probably see on camera that this tear trough looks a little bit better than that one. So hopefully you guys can see that, but that's one injection and it's very, very straightforward for the patient. That wasn't too bad, was it, Sharon?
No, that was fine.
Okay. So you can see Sharon is a bruiser. She's got very fair skin. So we're going to minimize the amount of injection she has. And so I'm going to go through the same injection space, same little entry point. And Sharon, you're just going to feel a little pressure here, okay? This is totally normal. Little push. Good job. Okay, so a little pressure. Good job. And then turn a little bit towards me. Yes, that's great. Good. And a little bit more towards me. That's perfect. Amazing, Sharon. You are doing so well. Amazing job. Let me just see how this is doing. So this is the exact same entry point we used as before. Now, I'm going to just lower the table just a little bit. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So a lot of times after the first few treatments, someone really doesn't need that much. Sometimes it's just little tweaks here and there that we do for filler. So she thinking of what else we could do for her, and she really doesn't need much. Like I said, I'll probably just on another webinar show her, do a little Agnes on her jowl area. Okay, you feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Now, with your eye itself, look up at the ceiling for me. Look up. Yep. Good. Now close. Great. Okay, probably just one more injection here, Sharon. Okay. Okay, amazing. Okay, so Sharon, can you sit forward for me just so the audience can see? Okay, thank you. Can you guys see the difference between her tear trough here and her tear trough here? And then do you see how her cheek has lifted here versus it looks a little flatter there? So it looks really pretty. And I think that's probably where we'll stop for now. And we will send you before and after of Sharon once we do the other side off camera. But thank you so much for tuning in. And you did great today. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. Let us know if you have any questions. Just give us a call at the numbers. And